Have you ever been in a room with one of those Funhouse mirrors? Like the wavy, kind of wiggly mirrors that distort how you look. I think that a lot of times we have that experience in our own heads, not necessarily with our bodies, we have that too, but also with how we see ourselves. Like we have this distorted view of who we are. And a lot of us, I know I definitely have and still continue to struggle with negative self-talk. And my dad referred to this as big Rachel beating up on little Rachel. So when I would be dealing with something internally where my mind would be kind of telling me something about myself that was negative, he described that's like big Rachel not being very nice to little Rachel. And he's like, tell her to stop it. And so when I think about that, like some of the things I would say to myself would be like, gosh, Rachel, like because of some of the challenges I had growing up and not feeling like I fit in or was accepted, like, gosh, Rachel, like you're not cool or popular. If you're too successful, people won't like you. They won't want to be your friend. You're so selfish. You're so bossy. Someone will steal your ideas if you put them out there, and then they're going to outshine you, and then you're going to be irrelevant and you're going to be forgotten. And then I would even think things like, you have to be impressive, Rachel. You have to be impressive in order for people to accept you. And you have to be good enough in order to be loved. And I couldn't help but think of, gosh, Rachel, why do you care so much about getting awards and recognition and all of that kind of stuff? Because like, I think a lot of people, I know I'm not alone in this, like a lot of people, we think that love is on the other side of achievement. That acceptance is on the other side of impressing people. And so sometimes we have to call that into question. Sometimes we have to really sit with our thoughts and challenge them and the truth behind them. So one of the things I did about, gosh, I think it's been almost 2 years now, is I talked with a coach, Lori Raggio, and she asked me 2 specific questions. And the questions were, what shows up when I do? And what qualities do I bring into a room? And so I had to reach out to a handful of people. I ended up reaching out to like a dozen people and asking them those questions, to basically give them the opportunity to reflect back to me what they saw. So we have the one version of me, which is like the negative self-talk Funhouse mirror, where I'm seeing all these distorted things about myself. And then there's like that flat mirror that's like literally reflecting back what's actually there. And so that's what the people were that I reached out to, is they were like they were the flat mirrors that were telling me the truth. And I was so shocked, you guys, by the things they said, because it was so different than what I was telling myself. They said things like, calming presence, which I had to pause. I was like, time out. I was like, calming presence. I'm like all over the place. Calming presence and excited energy. They said things like funny, nurturing, grounding, authentic, vulnerable, disarming, playful. I always think I'm like so serious. They were like, no, playful and electrified. And I was like, man, like if that's really how you see me? Like it was just this epiphany for me that the way I was seeing myself was so different than how other people saw me. And I realized that nobody said anything about how impressive I was. No one said anything about what I do. All the things they spoke into were about the essence of who I am at my core. And that really impacted me. And it was the start of me beginning to realize that what they were reflecting back to me was more accurate than what I was telling myself. So I would encourage you to take those 2 questions to a handful of people in your life that you feel like know you in some capacity. The questions are, what shows up when I do, and what qualities do I bring into a room? So try that out and see what you get back. Feel free to comment below or send me a message. I would love to know what you find out.